looked into the mirror and maybe felt a little bit of age on your face, perhaps by your eyes, perhaps in the form of wrinkles? Have Instagram filters become a constant? And sometimes now, when you see yourself without the filters, you go, my God, should I just get a little bit of nip and tuck done? If the latest trends are anything to go by, it seems like it's official. As we speak, obviously, the majority of millennials are now in their mid to late 30s. And now we're seeing in trends that many millennial age folks are beginning to seek out different kinds of treatment to address age-related changes in their skin and in their facial structure. One of the most common services among this age cohort, and what we're going to take a look at today, facial fillers.
That's right, and it's been quite a trend. Even fillers, for that matter, have had quite a journey of their own. Now, as millennials have obviously seen this earlier, what happens is that millennials sort of in a way saw a very obvious filler with their parents' generation, and now there is the other generation which is called a filter face. Very popular with Gen Z, of course. So where are millennials in this? A research actually comes out to talk about how they want a very subtle, extremely natural looking enhancement, and they don't shy away from it. And fillers are of different kinds, you know, in the jaw, in the chin, etc. Celebrities get it all the time. But are the common folks, mango people like you and I, also waking up to it? Well, that's the trend we will speak about. But listen, for all of our viewers who are rolling their eyes at this story at the moment, listen, don't listen to us. Listen to the expert. So we've got those in the studio with you. We've got in a studio with us India's leading aesthetic and clinical dermatologist, Dr. Rashmi Shetty. Hi, good morning. Now, Rashmi, your hands have touched the faces of several celebrities, but before we get into the technicality of what are fillers, how do they happen, downside, upside, all of it, I just want to understand from you first, when people come and approach you, you know, with a filler or with any kind of cosmetic treatment, what are the aspirations really? Are you seeing a change in trend there as well?
One who just comes and just tells me, look, I'm looking tired and I think I'm seeing signs of aging. I don't like my face the way I used to love it a little before. So you do the best. We know what you do, and here's our face, and you do. The second set comes and tells me specifically, I can see tiredness under my eye. I can see a little line here and there that I don't like. I don't know what to do. The third set is the young guys who say, I just need my lips filled. I want them nice and full. I like a big cheekbone, and I like my chin a little sharper. They're going to come with specific things to tell me. So these are various kinds of people who come and talk to me, and the end goal is always a little structural change, and we can only achieve it with fillers.
Dr. Rashmi, tell us, what's the actual process? So do they come meet you once and then have multiple discussions with you after, before they actually get down to the surgery and the procedures, where you both sharpen your, joint idea of what is beautiful?
So I have people who come to me only with references, and I'm known for my work with fillers and aesthetics. So with me, it's like they come on the first day, they talk to me, we discuss what they want, and then the process is just applying a numbing cream first, and they are made to sit in a particular room for an hour. That hour, I'm also rethinking their face after a few photographs that we initially take. Then after that hour, get into the room, discuss with them, chat a little, and sometimes I even change my initial plan and then give them the final plan because I've been thinking about them, right? Then we both discuss. A lot of times, I do take inputs from the patient as to what's bothering them and what their end goal is. But as an expert and as a doctor, we on our side know how it's going to look now and 10 years hence. So I guide them through the process and sometimes say what you want may not be the right thing. Here's what you should be doing. So between all this, we arrive at a conclusion, and then it takes me maybe 10 to 15 minutes to actually do the process. We inject the filler, which is hyaluronic acid. That's the only one which is approved in India. And with tiny needles with various aliquots, we just inject that. Shape the face. It takes you 10 to 15 minutes. Literally, after I finish one half, I show them the mirror, so it's instant, and the work that I do is so subtle. Sometimes you finish both the side, you're wondering, yes, I look nice, but what did you do? So I finish one half, explain to them, and it's a no downtime procedure. You can go into your daily work immediately. It's almost painless, and that's the whole process.
You know, it's interesting you say it's almost painless, but when we see pictures like these of injections going up your face, it is a scary one. So best to sort of hear it from somebody who's actually got it. So we also have with us somebody who has got it. She's ready to flaunt it. Toral Sanghvi is with us in the studio. Hi, good morning,
Hi,
Toral.
good morning.
She is 46 for our viewers. She is an entrepreneur as well. And Toral, I want to first start by asking you, you were going about your regular day. You're a founder of a Kerala kitchen chain, you know, and one day you just decided that you're going to do it. What was the process like? What were you thinking then?
See, with these things, I don't think it's ever like one day you wake up and you just decide. But I've been using, there are supplements, I've been using some of the skincare treatments. I've known Dr. Rashmi Shetty for a long time, like 5-6 years. We've been talking about it, and one day I said, I want to do something to kind of correct my face. I don't know what. I said, something is not right. And she's just said, it's your chin, it's over compromised. Okay, so let's just like cut to the, you know, what needs to happen. And then I just left it to her. So that whole thinking process went on for a very long time, and then eventually when I made up my mind, it was more of a correction. I said, why not, if it's just going to help me have a better smile or feel a little more nicer about my face, let's do it. So it was not really about an aging kind of a thing, but just like I would go and get my hair colored or get a nice you know, trim or whatever it was. It was just as natural decision for me. So yeah.
Was the decision, Toral, to be open about it, was that an actual decision or did it come naturally to you?
It was actually pretty natural. So if I go for, for example, if I decide to go get something new done, there are a bunch of people whom I always talk about these things. So I told all of them that I'm getting this done. They were all waiting for me to come back and, you know, see how it's working out. But I think over a period of time, last few years, in fact, because I realized how great I was feeling about my face as I was aging, I said, this is, you know, why should we be unkind to ourselves? You know, let's talk about a treatment or a little bit of a correction that we are doing. You know, so I said, let's talk about it. It's cool to just go get a filler. It's, you know, why should I judge somebody for them doing something, or why should somebody judge me for getting my face done? So it's as simple as that.
It's
so
cool
really
to get a filler.
Yeah,
I wasn't
cool.
expecting it from this generation, but quite fun to sort of hear you say that.
Yeah.
But before we get into the nitty-gritties again, I want to understand from you, Toral, once you got it done, what was the reaction like at home, from friends? Because that sometimes is also a driver one way or the other, no?
Yeah, so interestingly, like the first day, of course, the face is slightly sore, but the next few days, I had actually, I was traveling, and you know, a lot of pictures were taken and stuff. So people looked at the picture, they said something is different. They couldn't really pinpoint what I had done, like where I had done it, but they knew that I was looking fresher and something was nicer. So I mean, for me, that was like the biggest compliment, because, you know, you don't want to kind of, you know, look something that you are not, but at the same time do something to just enhance the way you are looking. So I think then now I was happy with my decision. I said, wow, that was a great decision to get something done. So yeah, that was kind of the feedback which kind of made me feel good about doing the whole thing. Yeah.
I just want to ask Dr. Rashmi, let's just ask you a little bit how you've shaped your own approach to this. Can you tell us, in your own head when you approach this, is there an age for you that is too young when it comes to the clients who come to you to come and get fillers? And is there a too much? That was the other part. Like, you know, is there a certain amount of filler that you may give a client after which, you know, when they keep coming back to you, you're like, no, you know, maybe this other adjustment won't look good. Do you have those personal boundaries that you've sort of navigated for yourself?
Of course, that completely differentiates a doctor to the other doctor. First, when a patient comes to me, sometimes they're 16 today, thanks to all the internet. They come at 16 and say, oh, I want my chin, I don't like my double chin, I want my jawline sharp. I'm like, you're just 16, you haven't even grown up fully. So I wait for them to at least be around 22 or 24. and while they have kind of become their ideal self, sometimes the cheek fat that bothers a lot of teenagers these days goes away on its own when you mature or the face completely takes its own shape. So you wait for them to fully grow up and get their features and their face on its own come to what it has to. And then I decide if I want to do something. But I've also learned a lesson where mamas used to call me and say, we know, we trust you, our children are really wanting to do it, we're going to just say no and send them back. But the minute if I say no, I've seen then they quietly go to somebody else and just get it done. So now I kind of know what to do a little something else, kind of coax them to wait till the right age. So that's the answer to your first question. For the second one, yes, it's very important for us to hold back a patient when you know they're just tipping to the other side. Because like Toral rightly was describing, that when you get a filler, it's like a sudden aha. It's like you've done it and it's a before after immediately, and you see your tiredness is gone, your chin looks nicer. We worked a little on Toral's under eye and things. So if you see her cheeks are better formed, so you age better because the tissues are now anchored well.
You've got those before after pictures, yeah.
Yeah, so but if I go on doing it or listen to her next time, every time she gets a little line, it may not turn out well and there might be that overfilled syndrome that happens. So at some point we need to know it's not just filler. You may need an energy-based device to actually give the skin a better wrap, skin a little lift, may have to modulate with energy-based devices for that extra fat which comes down as a jowl or your submental fat there. So the fillers is just one tool in the armamentarium of what you have to enhance a person's looks. Right. So it can't be one tool for everything.
I like how in this entire conversation, Dr. Rashmi, we've spoken little about the technique. We've spoken more about the mindset, how people are perceiving it, how decisions are taken or rather not. So let me understand this from you. You're right that it is just one of the many, and perhaps a lot of people who get down this road of trying to do some cosmetic sort of rearrangement or some enhancement of sorts, they don't know where to stop. And we've seen some bad examples of that all around us as well. Yeah. So what do you tell people in their 30s, 40s, like we said, millennials are just waking up to this trend, just getting about that age now. Where do you stop? Where do you draw the line?
So to me, like I said, as a physician, you need to know. Filler is like a bat in a batsman's hand, let's say. So everyone which graduates from one training school or everybody who has a great bat is not going to give you, whatever, the best sixers and win the World Cup for you, right? So it has to be the judgment of the batsman, where to stop, how to use the bat, which direction to spin it probably, how much to do it, what force you give while you kind of use your syringe, which layer of your skin are you on, what is it that you're addressing? Is it the deficit of the bone in that area, deficit of the fat in that area? So there's a lot that goes into it, and ultimately the biggest thing is that skill of aesthetic judgment. What looks good on this particular face with this nose, this forehead and this lip? How much can I do the chin, or how much can I work on the cheek, or how can I shape the nose? We could do all of that with fillers, right? So that is important as a judgment from the doctor, and it's important for a patient to trust the doctor, because you could probably be looking at a trend or looking at your selfie camera at a certain wavelength and thinking something, while a doctor is looking at you more with a scientific approach, knowing how your skin tissues change as you age, so knowing what's best for you today. So trusting your doctor is important, and going to the right doctor is very important. So all the research you do before you go to the doctor, don't go to the doctor and then tell her, oh, I've done the research, you need to do this. No.
Identify the problem and let the doctor then sort of figure out how to do this then.